You're going to start seeing more folks that are looking for a pre-owned travel trailer or a pre-owned fifth wheel start dropping out of the market because they can't find anything decent for a relatively okay price. Now, I'm not talking about the jackasses out there. They're going, hey, you posted a $15,000 trailer. It's worth 500 bucks. It's junk. I'm not talking about those idiots. I'm talking about the real people that are actually searching Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, RV Trader. They're shopping private party. They're shopping dealerships. Pretty soon, those folks are just going to wipe their hands and decide to do something else. Now, I do have a solution for the manufacturers on that, but we'll get to that in a moment, okay? But the reality is that the people that are going to voluntarily repossess their units, their credit's going to get shot. Once their credit's shot, we lose them for the next 8 to 10 years. We lose the ability to get them loans for a very, very long time. Now, here's the problem nobody wants to admit to. No one wants to say that it's true. Everybody wants to call me a liar. Everybody's wondering if I'm on the powder. Everybody thinks I'm drunk when I'm saying this. There's no way FEMA's going to bail out the banks. Blah, blah, blah. Let me put this scenario in front of you. It's already happening today. We already saw that agents that FEMA hires to buy units bought 32 units from auctions and from the lenders in the last 6 weeks. It's already starting to happen. Why? Here's why. We're going to take a scenario where a person spent sticker price on a Tiffin motorhome, $300,000 as an example, okay? They put $60,000 down after tax, title, license, in whatever state they're in. They're financing 260 grand as an example. 4 years later, a bank, not the market, not somebody what they're willing to pay, the lenders say they will lend 120 grand on that coach. Okay, so it had a huge depreciation of $140,000 from the loan amount. They've paid the loan down to, let's say, 220 grand. And they look at each other and say, I'm not writing an $80,000 to $100,000 check to sell this motorhome. I already wrote a $60,000 check to buy it. Why would I write another $100,000+ check to get out of it? So what do? Well, they look at their finances. They look at everything going on, and they ship that unit back to the bank. The bank is going to sell it at an auction. The balance between what they owe and they get at the auction is going to be put on the customer. But here's the thing. That customer, while they're repossessing that vehicle, the common trend is let's jack up the credit cards, jack up all the debt, and file bankruptcy. So then everything gets tied up in bankruptcy court. So lenders know this. Lenders also know that FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, needs units for fires, floods, and natural disasters. They normally buy them through agents, third-party agents, that go to dealerships and go to manufacturers and buy units off the dealership lot or out of the factory yard. This is no longer going to happen for the next 2 to 4 years. They're just going to start slowly taking the high-priced inventory because they are allowed by contract to pay retail book for those motorhomes, for those trailers. So if the difference on this Tiffin motorhome between what a bank will lend, 120 grand, and what retail book is of 160 grand, the bank gets to recover an additional $40,000 while this guy tells them to go piss off with the balance he owes. The lenders have to capture as much money as humanly possible, and their contract with FEMA, the contract with FEMA on sales allows them to pay retail book with no ads for these units. So the federal government will bail out the lenders, and you'll never know it happened. There's still stuff that's going to go through the auction. That's normal repossessions, government products, things of that nature. You could still buy things at an auction. Okay, so dealerships still go to auctions to buy stuff. But when your bid is $10,000 to $15,000 less on average than what the bank wants to sell that unit for to recuperate as much money, they call agents of FEMA. Hey, I've got 10 travel trailers that I sent through auction 4 times, and I could not get this amount of money. I need 16 grand for this $10,000 wholesale trailer. We'll be right down with our checkbook. So you got to understand, they got to mitigate the losses because these people are not going to pay the balance. That's what you guys don't understand. When you get a complaint about this stuff, what people were hoping for that was going to happen isn't going to happen. There's too many things in place to prevent massive extinction of prices on used RVs. There's too many things when it comes to pre-owned motorhomes and travel trailers and fifth wheels and trucks and houses and boats. There's too many things put in place to prevent this from happening. So that's what we have to kind of realize. It doesn't mean, what that doesn't mean is it doesn't mean if you have a $5,000 budget, you should raise your budget to 20 grand. No, if you got a $5,000 budget, just realize you're not buying a Grand Design Imagine that's 2 years old for 5 grand. Because there's a lot of people getting scammed out there that truly believe that this is happening and don't understand the real education of it.